Hello and welcome to another Lightwave Digest special. Tonight we are going to talk about Lightwave and Amiga. To help us do that, we are joined by Lightwave veteran Louis and Amiga veteran Bill. Welcome both.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
Everyone knows about Louis in this community, but I doubt that many know about the Amiga community and you, Bill. So before we go into the presentation that Louis is going to have, I want to sort of like talk a little bit to you, Bill, about your like how did you come into the Amiga community, and talk a little bit about the is it AmiWest that you are heading up together with other people and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
yeah, let's go from there, I guess.
sure. Uh, Hopefully the statute of limitations has run out. I'll get to a funny lightwave story for you guys too, that you'll appreciate. Um, so in '91, I think it was, my brother, who had saved money and bought an Amiga 500 from the FCC that they had used for the signal testing, and they'd taken all the custom chips off and like left it in the box. So my brother bought that machine and used it for a couple of years. Then he upgraded to 2000, and then he brought for me a he gave that machine to me for my birthday, and I was downstairs and in my room. He set it up and he did a deep paint animation with dots around the outside and color cycling text, and that was really my first introduction to the Amiga computer. Prior, I had a TRS-80. It's playing things like Monster, where you had to like move the M around the asterisks to pick up the P's, which were the police cars. Um, but then I got the Amiga, I got Stunt Track Racer, and it was just over. I mean, I just absolutely adored the machine, expanded it every possible way back then. Eventually joined the National Capital Amiga User Group, got myself a 1200. I distinctly remember going down to Texas to hang out with a friend of mine, and we wanted to render a lightwave scene that we had put together using some Star Trek ships on that 1200, and I didn't have enough RAM. And he worked at a computer store that shall remain nameless, and it's like, man, we need 8 more megs of RAM. And so he went over to like this PC Junior, and we're like looking around, and he's like all nonchalant, and he slides the case open, and he's like, crack, and he pops the RAM out, slides the case back, and then we ran home, plugged it in, and went to bed. And the next day we had 15 frames of this animation because it took forever to render on the 030. Um, so I've been messing around with video toasters and light waves and all things Amiga. I'm a big fan of the next generation products, predominantly the OS4 technology. And since then, I've really gotten into the Amiga shows, like the you mentioned AmiWest earlier. For me, it's how do I give back? I'm not a good enough programmer, although with AI you can get more dangerous. I'm not an artist, but one thing I can do is connect people and organize events. So it started with AmiWest. It started going to tons of shows, and then honing in on AmiWest and doing that for like 26 or 27 years now, attending, presenting, and then becoming part of that organizing crew. Brian Deneen did it for many, many years after the original folks that started, Michael Salcedo and John Zacharias, Alan Crandall. And then more recently working with Jerry Gray, Mr. Toast, and a bunch of other people, Brian Campagnano, who keep the event running and put in the time before and after the event to make it all work. We've already started planning. We're already thinking about our banquet speakers, but we don't talk about that till we get into the midsummer. But then when the 30th rolled around, the Amiga 30th, living in Silicon Valley, just thinking to myself, who's going to do this? How are we going to honor this machine? What's going to happen here? And that kicked off a journey to put together the Amiga 30th show at the History Museum. And it was a smashing success. It was wild. We had 450 people dedicated to the event. We had 16 hours of speakers. You can go on YouTube. You can punch it in and find the video for that. Completely filled the upstairs. It was incredible. It was so much work. It was just an unbelievable amount of work to pull a show off, and tons of people helped me. Dale Luck, Chris Collins. I actually met Chris Collins. He emailed me out of the blue for that event. Alan Smithenbank, Fred Wright. Just so many people. Paul Sadlick just helped. Let's fast forward to the 35th, pandemic hit, so we didn't do that. We were talking about it, and then the 40th rolled around, and for the 40th, which is kind of the topic here, you can see it in the background. I'll pull that out a little bit later. It's life size. For the 40th, I wanted to do something different. One, I didn't have the time with family commitments and work to do another takeover of the History Museum. So we linked up with an organization called the Vintage Computer Festival, run by Eric Klein, Corey, a bunch of cool people have been putting this thing on. It's so big now. They've got like 5 or 6 per year. There's one in Europe, East Coast, all over the country. But the VCS West is their biggest. It's their kind of foundational show. And I wanted to do something different and not just honor the Amiga computer, but to show the Amiga computer to other people, like show people where we are, how absolutely insane this community is with all the stuff that we have going on. And I think we accomplished that. We built a replica of the CES booth with Dale Luck's help. So many people jumped in. The core organizers were Dale again. Chris was there, Chris Collins, Alan, Evangelos, Goulas was a big part of making all that work. Luca, who was at the 30th, came back from Italy to the United States for school and just randomly showed up like 5 months before the event. We had a really, really great crew. And then day of, the people there, like, it was crazy. Trying to remember. So Mike, sorry, Mike, I can't remember your last name. One of the Commodore engineers, I'm like, here, tape this down. It was just nuts. These guys crawling over the booth, building it all. And again, we wanted to do something differently. If you don't know anything about the Amiga 40th, the VCF show had about 2,200, 2,300 people attend it in 2024. When it was all said and done, we had like 3,500 people come through that event. And as you walked in the main show hall, you saw a replica of the Amiga Corp CES booth with Atari 800s and Commodore 64s, joy boards out front. And then you walked into this special area that was all closed off that had the custom chips in it. And then when you walked past a little display from Commodore Los Gatos, because God bless Dale, he keeps everything, you had a display for a kid's bedroom. We had a video toaster studio. Tim Jennison was there. At one point, I'm running around the show floor, and the toaster's on its side, and Jennison's got like a flashlight and a screwdriver, and he's doing a center frequency adjustment on the toaster. And then Mark Randall showed up with a ton of other really cool artifacts from the time, and then we had a lineup of Amigas, and we had stuff for sale, and Trevor and Matthew Lehman were there with their Aeon product. It was a hell of a thing. We did a great job. But we wanted to do something in the evening, and now we're getting to where LightWave comes into all of this. And we noodled a bunch of different ideas around, and I'm like, let's do an award show. Because, like, we've never done that before. And so we created this concept called the Ammis, and we created a bunch of categories, which were really, really hard to do, to kind of squeeze it all down, with big focus on Amiga games. And then we ran for a couple months voting where people could, and it was Google Sheets. Some people are against that, but whatever. We still got 100 plus responses of folks voting for their favorite game in different categories: OCS, ECS, AGA, hardware like Picasso, toasters, productivity software, all of it. We had all these different categories and all these different things. I'm like, well, I want to have an award show. I need an award. What are we going to give people that would be fun? And we kind of, actually, Jerry Gray helped out a lot on that. And we noodled it through using AI to kind of come up with like this Lemming kind of thing, holding like a bowling ball or something like that. And then we used Meshy, which is an AI tool, to try to convert it into something that we could 3D print. I got a 3D printer here. Chris Collins got a H2D to print it out too. And we quickly realized that was not going to fly. It just wasn't going to work. You can't make it proper by just prompting it. It's just not happening. Not yet anyway. And so I'm in my garage and I'm listening to the LightWave Digest, your podcast. This would have been, gosh, I don't even know, June of 25. And I'm like, wait a minute. he's on Discord. Why don't I reach out to Cageman and just see what happens? Like, hey man, I need help with this. Cageman contacted Lewis. I shared what we had, our pictures, our prototypes, and all of that. And Lewis just went to town on this thing and just produced this phenomenal model. This Chris, as I said, Chris Collins has an H2D, which has a very large print bed.
Oh, wow.
And so he fired out big ones, as you can see here. He even created like big versions of the award chip. So that's way bigger, but that would sit in his hand. And that's how we got here. Here's one that we printed that's not finished. So this is the actual size that we handed folks. And the chip portion of it had the what the award was for. Amazing Amigan was one of them, OCS game or whatever. And this is the ginormy one, or one of them Chris made. You can see the scale.
Yeah, that's nice. Wow. So, and you had to you painted them as well and stuff like that, right?
Chris Collins is a machine. I mean, he basically, with a little help, built the entire CES facade and like all the materials and came up with the design. And he also looked at what Lewis had done and thought through all the finishing, all the staging, because you can't just print it and have it look right. You have to really cut it up and print it in the right way. And Chris was just a monster. And his partner Minnie helped out, and she was doing a lot of the painting and a lot of the gluing to put it all together. I think one chip fell off that night, maybe. But it was quite the incredible thing for sure.
Yeah, and it was done super fast. I think the turnaround was, I mean, I think I had you on a Friday, and then by Sunday I had Lewis started, and he was finished at on the Wednesday, because he wanted to have Thursday as a Lewis will go through this obviously, but he had a Thursday because he was going to go on vacation on Friday, and he wanted to have Thursday for final just adjustments and stuff that if it needed to happen, and it was crazy how fast that went
and smoothly. You know, I mean,
yes.
it was amazing to see, and I mean, Lewis's skill was completely on display when it came to producing a 3D object that was printable, right? Yeah. Obviously Lewis will get into all that, but it was wild.
Yeah, but so to understand, so the process you used, right? You used AI to sort of generate a couple of images, if I'm not mistaken, right? And then you used another AI to then try to generate a mesh based on those images. Was that how it worked?
Yeah, we used AI to prototype.
Yeah.
What we wanted to see and kind of bounce around different concepts, right?
Yep.
And then I had my brother who's been doing 3D printing for a really long time. Sorry, I'm looking at Chris's photos from the event, and there's a whole bunch of behind the scenes and a lot of stuff here. I'd love to go through all this sometime because it's pretty cool. But my brother took a whack at it using Meshi. So Meshi is another 3D tool. You give it an image, and it tries to interpolate an object from that image.
Yeah.
But it couldn't do this one. It did it. We tried printing them. There were just all sorts of flaws, and it just wasn't clean.
Yeah, and I guess when Lewis starts his presentation, I guess he will sort of go through what he got from you guys, and then how he made the thing. I don't actually know exactly what Lewis will be showing, but I think that would be a logical thing, right? So, guys, sure. Before we get into Lewis' presentation, do you guys have any questions for Bill?
What was it like being around the fantastic Kiki Stockhammer?
Oh yeah, I mean she's fantastic. So we had Tim. I've known Tim. I first met Tim in 2000. Tim Jennison in 2003. Yep. And obviously, total fan, like gushing and whatnot. But he came to the 30th, so I have a little bit of rapport with him. He came to AmiWest in 2023, 22 or 23. And unbeknownst to me, there was Mark was there from New Tech, became Play. They had some bad blood, but that's kind of over now. And then a bunch of other people from New Tech had come by, including Kiki, at that AmiWest show. And Tim's like, I don't want you to film this presentation. And my God, was it the best presentation we've ever had at AmiWest. I mean, it was just off the hook fantastic. I had light in the background, like it was just gorgeous.
Was that the keynote thing that you usually have on the banquet, or was
yes,
yeah?
Tim did it, but he wouldn't let me film it and stream it.
Yeah,
and he is a spectacular speaker. It was amazing. I still have flashbacks of that talk.
Oh,
he's like, yeah, I used like Sterilite and bake the case for the original Multiview or Digiview. It's like I probably shouldn't have done that in my home oven because it's like toxic material. But just him going through the process and how New Tech started and the journey to get the video toaster out. The video toaster has FPGAs. He was programming FPGAs like when those things were absolutely brand new. So he spent like 3 months locked in an office away from everyone else, figuring out how to make those things work. And he did it because he's just off the charts brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Kiki came and she was talking about her journey as a young woman, like out of college, and she shows up at this place called New Tech to get a job with computers. And they're like, do you know German? And she's like, yes, I know German. And so they're like, well, next week we're going to Germany to the CeBIT show and we need someone to show off our product. And she's like, let's go. And that's literally the story. And you can tell the family, they just love each other because they went through it and they did an amazing thing, changed the world. You know?
Yeah, that was like a paradigm shift. The video toaster was a huge shift, and like, you know, because prior to that you had to like have a proper like video or studio and stuff like that with super expensive hardware and it was not leaving computers back then. It was just very, very expensive stuff, and then the video toaster comes out, and that must have sold like butter.
Oh, it's crazy. It's crazy. Mark told me a story about having like an NAB show, the big North American video show, having like a dinner with the Sony guys, like Sony executives. And they're like, why are you only, the executives, like, why are you only charging $5,000 for this thing? He's like, you guys could charge like 50. And they're looking at each other like, we didn't even think of that. We weren't here to make money. We were here to change the world.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because we in Europe, we never got the video toaster, but we had some other stuff. We had the VLab Motion from whatever the company is called now, or was called.
Macro.
Yeah, exactly. So we had Movie Shop, the editing software that was sort of like a little bit inspired, or maybe a bit, but probably was before, Oh, here you have the video. Is it signed?
Oh, beautiful.
Nice.
Yes, this one is actually signed by Tim, Mark, I forget the gentleman's name, who was the QA guy, Kiki, and Penn Jillette.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I took it to Vegas, and we got Penn to sign it for me. So I didn't get a chance to meet him in person, but he signed it.
Does it work now?
I have 7 of them. I have working ones. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now that I am in absolutely no way jealous of you right now.
I mean, if you want, I could get my VLab card. I've got everything in here. It's crazy. I got a lot.
Wow. No, I mean, you had to have a big box Amiga. I mean, I used to have like a super expanded Amiga 1200 in a tower case. The L-Box mediator PCI expansion and 060, 256 megabytes of RAM. And the whole thing, right? And I used it for LightWave and music production and stuff like that. I actually used it up until 2003, 2004. Yeah, and it was my daily driver. But then, me starting to use LightWave and stuff like that, I had to move over to the PC because the new versions were there and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I think, the Amiga is extremely relevant for the LightWave community, even if most people might not even have used the Amiga computer. Most people in the LightWave community comes from the Amiga computer.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at all the shows, there's very few people that never used the Amiga and you know, stuff like that. But it's very relevant because without Tim, the vision of Tim with the video toaster, and also him bringing in the two programmers that did modeler and layout,
Alan and
Alan Hastings and Stuart Ferguson.
yeah.
Yeah, those two guys. I mean, we would probably not have LightWave. You know, I think LightWave wouldn't exist without that sort of culmination of things happening. You know, changing the world, as you said, right?
Yeah, it's a wild package to use a video toaster even today, and to look at how complete and how competent it was. I mean, obviously resolutions aren't there.
Yeah.
It doesn't really it does non-linear with the flyer, but it's not, you know, it's not DaVinci Resolve.
No,
But
exactly.
it's so complete, and you can do so much with it in its own way. And you know, the point about the LightWave community, I started on LightWave, and I fire up things like Blender. What else have I used? Like Fusion doesn't count; that's a different tool. But I use Blender,
Yeah.
and I can't figure out how to do anything in that thing. It's got so many buttons, and it's all parametric. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here. And then I go to a LightWave on my X5000. You know, and I can be productive with it. Like it's easy.
But that's LightWave 5, right? It's
Yeah,
not
oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah. Because I mean, I guess you would be kind of confused if you would just fire up LightWave 2025 nowadays, and you will actually see some of the stuff when you see Louis' presentation. But let's see here. What did I think about? I had a question there, and it just disappeared.
Well, while you're thinking about that, can I ask?
Yep.
What's the story on how you managed to get the prototype Amiga at the AmiWest 40?
Which one are you talking about? The Agnes, the War and Peace systems?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dale. It's Dale Luck. He is absolutely fantastic.
How did you get that?
So sharp. Well, Dale lives in Silicon Valley, and I've known Dale since 2004. At a VCF when they did it at the original Computer History Museum on the NASA Ames base. They put us next to each other. I had moved to California in 1999. I presented at VCF. It's 2003 or 4. And Dale was there too. We were just put next to each other because we, you know, two Amiga displays. So I got to talking to Dale. And so I've known Dale now for 20 plus years, but he has all of this stuff. He's got a warehouse in an undisclosed location. He's actually got 2 buildings now. And he's a huge pinball addict, an arcade addict. He's got like 150 freaking pinball machines. And then he's got his other warehouse, and he's got it filled with classic systems and a huge chunk of Amiga. Huge chunk. So he has all sorts of Amiga Los Gatos material, that kind of like before Commodore, after Commodore, early days stuff. But he's got the Ranger prototypes. He's got the wire wrap boards. He's got 2 sets of wire wrap boards.
Really?
He has the original Sage. Like when we did the display at the Amiga 40th, so when they built the original system, because they were doing the development, they needed a working computer to talk to it and a load program and all of that. And he has like the original Sage system that they used at Los Gatos to bring the damn thing up. He just keeps all of it, and he keeps it running because he can do that. He's that crafty with a soldering iron.
Wow.
At AmiWest, him and Carl, and there's a video of this, were using ROMWhack to deploy code onto one of the original black dev boxes that Dale has like a stack of. So these were the first boards that were cut with custom chips, and they are able to push code against those using the same tools they used back in the past. Like that's how much of this stuff Dale's been able to recover in the last year. And I'll take my own little my own piece of that in like, hey Dale, we need this stuff. Can you do this stuff? And in going to help him find things and organize, to give him that kind of opportunity to like recreate all of his history and like rediscover it all and organize it all, because he has so much stuff. It's just crazy what he's got. And we help him, like I said, the organizing team. Tony is in there too. Help Dale manage all these components, and so that he can do things like, oh yeah, this is how ROM whack used to work, and sit there with Carl, and they're like, okay, what was that switch? How do we do this? And they noodled through and they got it working. It's absolutely incredible.
I must admit, I when I saw the video and I saw the prototype sitting on that desk, and I saw just basically the exposed Amiga prototype and how it all started, what those engineers did, I kind of cried a little, you know. I just thought to myself, this is where my life began, and I didn't even know, because I'm a Commodore man myself. I came in with the Commodore 64, and that pretty much changed my life, and progress up to the Amiga A500. And in that time, you read the magazines and you hear about this machine emerging, and then you hear the story once it's come out, and then you hear the history of how it all started and what those boys went through, you know, J Minor and everything. And then you see in 2025 that piece of history from back then. It's literally mind-blowing and very touching. And I'm like, this stuff really runs so deep and affects so many people's lives that you can't really but you can't really not be moved by it. I mean, you'd have to be made out of stone not to be moved by it, to be perfectly honest with you. So
I've just suddenly thought of something here randomly, guys. See that drawer over there? Right, that's where we used to have. Obviously, there's a newer television, but this used to be my brother's room, and that drawer in there was where our VIC-20 sat, and we just pull out that, and that's where it was. So how weird is that? It suddenly popped into my brain that drawer, it's not. It's full of all sorts of random stuff now. Used to be my VIC-20.
Oh my god,
that was my first computer.
Was that a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, it was just last week, I think. It was barely a moment.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't have any of the original hardware anymore. I use the X5000. I actually have 3 of those now. I have 2 040 systems and 1 020 system. So it's getting crazy here for me as well with the new. I'm into the next generation, so to speak, Amiga computers with AmigaOS 4, and there's a new board coming out soon as well. The what's it called now?
Ferrari.
Yes, Morari.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I show you guys a couple of pictures here of the from the 40th? This is a photo that Dale had of the Amiga booth in 1984 at the Winter CES. So this is January of 1984.
Oh my gosh!
And that is Don's last name is escaping, but that's Don standing. Or actually, no, it's not Don. We thought it was Don, but Don says that's not him.
Okay.
So in the back is where the Amiga prototype was, and it was invite only to get into that back room. So we had this photograph, and we had, let me open a new tab, but you can see my bookmarks there. That's okay.
Yeah.
We had this photograph of inside the room.
Oh yeah,
there it is. There it is.
We had this photograph is our final photograph. We had 3 photographs of that event, and I went to the internet and I scrubbed video. I tried to find anything else I could find. And it's Bob Pariseau is on the right, and the gentleman next to him, I don't know his name, but he was the Microsoft Flight Simulator guy. Like he's Microsoft Flight Simulator.
okay. That's cool.
I don't know his name. So this is what we had to work from in terms of implementing what we did. So we had this teeny little picture here.
Yep.
And then we had these 2 pictures of the interior.
So sorry.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
the this is what before Commodore bought Amiga.
Oh yeah. This is January of '84. Commodore bought them in summer of '84, I think, mid '84. and the Amiga launched several months later in June of '85.
Right.
Wow.
And there's all sorts of stories about the Boing ball on that screen there. Like we zoomed in, and Dale's like, "Yeah, I don't see the text, so it's got to be this version because Bob Burns added the text to it. This is probably the one that didn't move but spun, so it just sat there and spun on screen." So we took this picture and we came up with this booth at the Amiga at the VCF West.
That's cool.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Well done. I salute you, my friend. I salute you for that.
The reason why Sinistar is in this picture is R.J. McCall and Sam Dicker. I think Bob and John, the graphics guy, I forget his last name. Sorry, John. They all worked on Sinistar. This was the thing they did before coming to the Amiga.
Oh,
And
wow.
this game is wild. It's got a 48-way joystick.
Huh?
Like, this thing is crazy good. And Sinistar is all the bases belong to us sound. That's like a total meme. But this is the inside of that booth. And then over here, because we had talked about it, I wanted to show the chipset side. Sorry, I'm jumping around. It's a little messy. So this is what we recreated inside the booth.
Yeah.
Right? It's from these pictures. From this picture to this implementation.
I mean, that's incredible. That is just absolutely incredible that you guys have managed to do that.
And also not just that, but also get hold of the actual hardware as well.
Yeah.
Right? With Dale.
Yeah, the hardware is the big thing, isn't it, really?
The monitor that you see in this picture is, we believe, most likely the monitor you see in this picture. It's this. Dale's like, I have two. One of them was RJ's, and one of them was the one we used there. I'm not sure which is which, but he got them both working. So it's literally the same monitor that was at that event at the 84 booth. These were not driving it. We had an Amiga 1000 that we had loaded up the demos, and he had found like the slightly newer version, but he found the CES demo disc and was showing those demos at this event.
Wow. Yeah. This is that's just mind blowing, my friend. How you guys managed to do that?
Yeah, it's super cool.
It was truly something else. I want to do one last picture because it kind of brings it all together.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through this while we were talking earlier. See if I spotted it. Where is it? Shoot. Where did it go? Here it is. So I just wanted to put this on screen, right? Because as we talk about the award and what we've done there, the toaster won the coolest Zorro card. You can see it in the picture. That's obviously Tim Jennison and Kiki Stockhammer with their award. Like super excited about the Lemming that they had won. And so I'm going to leave it there on the picture. So I think this is a great tie-in to Lewis and how that thing actually came. Now we know why it's here, why it happened. Now we get to understand how it came to be.
Cool. I'm going to add Lewis to the stage, and you can take it away. Yep.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Bill.
Hi, Lewis.
Hello. Oh, hi guys. First of all, thanks to Bill. This is a great presentation, and I'm also Amiga guy because I started on Amiga, LightWave on Amiga also. So there is no LightWave user under like 40 years or so.
If your hair is this color, you used an Amiga.
By the way, Lewis, your name is not Lewis. Can you this happened during the Amiga days, right? When can you tell the story real quick? How your nickname came up?
Yeah, my name is basically Elvis, like Elvis Presley, that singer, because my father was big fan of that, so he gave me the name Elvis. And I was working on TV station back then in 90s, and someone, when you do the title, we had Amiga there for screen stuff, video, not video toaster, but that was a Genlock stuff, so you can put it live on the screen. Like all TV stations, small ones, had Amiga because everything else was too expensive. And when they typed, because I was working in the behind the scenes in control room and stuff like that, doing the news and stuff, and someone typed my name wrong. He changed the E and L, so it came out like Louis, but without W. So it got stuck. So they start calling me Louis instead Elvis, and I got like nickname in 90s. So that's how I got this, and I kept it. So it's fine.
Yeah, that's a funny story.
Yeah. So yeah, basically what we got, but Cageman contact me. He said there is a guy who needs something to model. Okay, and we got like meeting. Cageman, me, and Bill in like one day. We just agreed to meet on the. I think it was a Skype then. Still.
No, it was Discord. It was
Oh,
Discord.
my
yeah,
server on
Discord. Yeah,
Discord.
Discord.
Yeah.
That was like late last year. Yeah,
Yes.
and he showed me
And
this picture.
it was actually during my vacation. It was
Yeah,
the start of my vacation was this project actually.
yeah. So
So it was
basically,
yeah. Sorry.
Bill sent us this because this was generated by AI and it looked great. But as he already mentioned, they tried to create the model out of these images, and then we got this. That's what we got. And this one is already slightly optimized, but it's still like tons of polygons and everything is like in shambles, as you can
It
see.
got a navel as well.
Yeah, and it's really, I mean, AI is great for stuff like this. You just type in what you want and you get it after a few tries. But to get the clean model, that's another thing because this has to be precise. So
Mm.
me and Cageman had like 10 minutes to convince Bill that I can do it. So he was not really. we didn't know each other, so yeah, we still needed to know how to do it and what he wants. So yeah, Cageman did recommend me, and thank you, man, for that. And also, Cageman did sponsor because I did this for the fee. It was not really just like a free job. Although I did give small discount because I was also Lemmings and Amiga lover. So,
Yeah.
but the Cageman was the man who made it possible, basically, because he was the sponsor, basically, of this
Yeah.
whole
Absolutely.
stuff. So,
Super cool.
so yeah, basically that's how it started, and then I got this model, and then I started doing retopo in 3D code because I use it for all my retopo stuff, just to get the basic pose the same, and started. Then I was thinking, if I retopo the nose and the head, that's not going to work because they're not correct. They just in this model look like weird when you compare it to the actual one. It should be more round, and for some reason, Meshi was doing it like more like pointy and less fat. Let's call it that way, not round enough. And then I started doing piece by piece. So I have like a seg versions of the model. This is like first I made the base, I made the chip. That's the easy part, and it's subdivision. And when you do it for the printing, it has to be watertight. That's one of the main things. You cannot have the holes. It has to be one piece. And then I started like subdivision piece by piece, and then more and more as we're progressing because I'm using like incremental save in modeler, so yeah, I can do one by one. And this stuff is the hardest part. When you create something, you need to weld it. See, you need to have like a good topology and to get like small bevel and everything with subdivision. It's even more hard, but see, you get a nice reflection then, a nice smooth transition. And I was doing some 3D models even before. So yeah, I like to have not the big overhangs and stuff like that. So the printer has less work to do, less support bridges, easier for printing. So you just like See, like this could be like straight, but if you make it like this, it's easier for the printer when it's layering. There is no support bridge here. There is no need for
Okay.
it. So it's kind of like we adapted slightly, but yeah, and eventually we got like piece by piece, and like the head. See, you just like start, and these small like it's like a lines or whatever, like a globe, probably, because I did see them on this AI thing. So
It's the boing ball, Lewis.
yeah,
It's an homage to the boing ball.
Yes.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah, at one point, yeah, now you remember, I did color them like red and white, just for the fun. But yeah, it wouldn't be like easy to print multicolor. Although today there is a multicolor printer, so it's possible, but not if you need it fast, then it's gonna be tricky. So, and the biggest issue at one point, I was like doing this and just sending screen grabs to Discord, and they were happy. And then there was like one point when I get to this, because we added Amiga Word also. See, this text is tricky to build.
Oh wait, is that actually part of the mesh? So it's actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
see, it's welded.
It's pretty.
You use this term welded. What? I'm not a 3D modeler person of any skill. What exactly do you mean by welding? Is that a tool in the or a technique?
Yeah, it's a tool which, if you select 2 points and hit weld, it just makes, see, 1 point. It just like,
I see.
but basically it's like a welding in the real world. If you want to fuse 2 materials, you need to weld them in between, right? Just like you have a machine to weld them. And in this case, so if this would be like, it would be easy if it's just a render. I would just stick this text in and call it a day. But since
Yeah.
you need to print it, it needs to be fused together. So that's
So it watertight again.
yeah,
comes to mind.
watertight problem again, basically. Yeah, so
And you did that point by point around all of the curves of every letter.
yeah.
Nice.
Because it's the only way you can do it.
Yeah, I mean, there is a tool called Boolean. So you can just like in the NURBS, that's easier. In the polygons, that's tricky part. But when you do like, I don't know why people call it CAD. Everything is CAD, computer aided design. Even this is CAD. But people say CAD, they think like about NURBS programs. So basically, there it's easy, but in polygons it's not easy. But then there is other stuff which is like tricky in the NURBS. So creating stuff like this in the NURBS is like a nightmare, because you do all by the curves and stuff. So you cannot just pick one polygon and move it easy. Like do this. Nah, that's not gonna work in NURBS. So yeah, that's why there is a tool for everything basically. So you just need to see which one fits you best. And then when I created all this, the hair was the trickiest part. See, this is not like print ready, because you see the hole on the backside. That's not gonna print. There is no way. And then, so when I did this and I made a hair, and if it's just a render, this would be enough. There is no point to welding. You just spend like hours and hours for no gain, because in the render you can fake the weld. You just get like a nice edge when two surfaces attach to each other, and then you get fake bevel or fillet, whatever. So you would fake it to look like this.
Ah, okay.
If you do it in the render, like a render effect, like a rounder or bevel in render. But since this was not for the render, that was the tricky part. So then there comes the setup. So you need to, what I did is do one by one. See, you need to weld one clump of hair one by one, because
oh my gosh.
if you do like let's say all together, there is no way to Boolean to work, because it does not know which one to do to which, it's going to be
Oh.
messy.
Mm.
So I had to do like, let's say like this one and this one. You can do this one because they are not next to each other, and then
Mhm.
weld those three, and then go to next layer, weld the next row, and do it like easy until you get to the latest one. So
Wow.
these are not welded yet in this. See, they are
Yeah,
not
yeah, I see.
there, but you can see actually which ones. See these.
Oh,
You are a madman.
Yeah.
You are
and
a
you do
mad genius.
and you do all this in sub D as well. So it's not like
Yeah,
maybe explain sub D, by the way. It's
yes,
essentially yeah. Sorry.
subdivision surface, they call it. Sub D is the short. So because when you do subdivision surface, basically one polygon, you have settings, which then tells you how. See, this one is subdivision level 4. There is a two types: old LightWave Amiga days type and the Catmull Clark type. So basically, this polygon, if it's sub D level 2, in the render, or when you hit tab key to subdivide, basically subdivides like 1x here.
Mhm.
So, and the 4 is like 4 by 4. So that's why you get, instead this faceting, you get it smooth, see?
Mhm.
So basically, internally, it's doing this. Like you have
Oh yeah,
that many polygons. But on
at render
visibly,
time, correct?
yeah, at
Yeah.
render time, and when I sent the model, because I had to export it for the 3D printer, basically you freeze it like this.
Oh yeah, yes, okay, yeah,
And then you have a lot
gotcha.
of polygons, but it's smooth on 3D printer because the 3D printer has a nozzle 0.2 millimeter, 0.4, whatever, and it still has to be able to print small stuff. So even something like this, you need to be sure it's going to be able to print that, because if it's too
Mhm.
small, it's not going to work.
Oh yeah.
Is that the reason why you printed the size that you did?
Yeah, we had a size in the beginning. Bill told me like it was like, I mean, somewhere around 15 centimeters or so. This
Yeah.
one, which
We had a concept of how physically large. We kind of modeled it out, and we wanted something that was substantial enough, but not onerous to create, right?
yeah,
So that's why we settled on this kind of size. This one actually might be a little small. Yeah, I think the actual ones were just a hair bigger than this guy, so you could actually hold the body
Mm.
like in your hand.
yeah,
So
like
it's not
Oscars, like Oscar.
exactly, but it wasn't like it's not an Emmy, which is like giant.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically that's the modeling session, and then I just, for the fun, I made a render, so it looks exactly like exactly. I mean, as possible, like that.
Oh, the
That
AI generated image, right?
AA image, yeah. So it's close to this basically, right?
Yeah.
It's actually better because
Yeah, I mean,
the hand actually
yeah,
works now.
yeah. It's better because you can do it from all the views, and yeah, the material stuff like that. So yeah, I get extra details for no reason, just for fun.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So can I just ask, with this model,
Yeah, shoot.
is the final model just completely one mesh?
Yeah,
It's
except the chip. Bill
Yeah.
said they want the chip to be separate. I could fuse it also, but in this case we can like put whatever. You can put the pencil or whatever in his hand. The chip is
Yeah.
the only separate piece basically. But yeah, it could be that all this is just, there is no open edges in this mesh.
Yeah.
wow. I
Well,
mean,
well,
I'm looking at this and I'm absolutely blown away by the what you've done, because I do modeling myself. And when it comes to sub Ds, I know that it can be in polygon modeling, it can be very tricky to do these sorts of this type of work. And for you to be able to pull this off so elegantly, as somebody who does this type of stuff like himself, I'm absolutely in awe of what you have done. It's just ridiculous how good this is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, one note about the chip, for production purposes, I printed the chips here on my P1S while Chris was printing the bodies and the stands on his P1S and his H2D bamboo product. So we actually divvied up the work because we didn't really have enough time to have one person do it all themselves.
Yeah.
And it allowed us to pipeline the construction. And I had a picture of it earlier of just tons of these guys with no chips, and we could do them separately from each other. And then as we were figuring out like what awards we're going to give out, we could put chips in them to make it work, right? So
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. Do
yeah.
you see this picture? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the what Bill sent me. This was the AI model,
Yep.
and this was the real one.
Yep.
Comparison, yeah.
I'm just wondering if
And see the red and white version. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm just wondering if OpenVDBs would actually have made things a bit more easier.
But how would you model with VDB this hairstyle?
Well, from the prototypes, not the sample, the AI generated version that was supplied to you. I'm just wondering if you just from that using a VDB, OpenVDB to create a smoother version may have helped or not. But then again,
Yeah,
maybe it wouldn't. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
VDB could have merged the polygons together. The downside with doing VDB is it has terrible topology. Everything's in a
Yeah,
box.
it would be
Mm,
back
yeah.
to
It won't flow.
this basically. Back to this.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I was thinking as well.
Yeah.
And see, even with the smoothing, you cannot even if you hit subdivision on this, although it's 250k polygons optimized, it would be like still like a bumpy and not smooth enough because it's like jaggy. There
Yeah.
is no way.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you render it and use it like a background, it's fine, right?
Mm.
But we did not have that luxury. It was
Possibly you built it in VDB and then just retopologized that, because at least it would have been fairly. It would have been better than the meshy one, but
yeah, but how to
it would have been
retopo
a
in
mission to all that.
this
Yeah.
overhangs and stuff. It's like, yeah, I was when I made the option when the hair was like separate piece, I was like looking at this and thinking, what software could I use?
Yeah.
And I was like, should I do this, and then I said many times I do that, and whenever I try to find a short way, I would already be half done if I started immediately. I'm sure it's gonna work, and then you spend same amount time and you get like half result. So I just take
Yeah.
the bullet because I had like 4 days. I did finish it in 3 days, but of course, yeah, that was like 3 long days. But yeah, I just wanted to be sure they get it before I go to my trip because I couldn't cancel my trip. It was like booked way before, so I was just and we are in different time zones. So if I finish in Wednesday and send it, then while Bill gets it, test it, it could be already Friday in my time. So
Yeah.
let's do it fast as possible. That's why.
Yeah. So
Maybe if I
that's
would do it today again, maybe I would try VDB stuff, but that's like maybe 3-4 hours of welding and manual fixing. And I don't know, because I already had to model the hair, all the clumps anyway, before I was starting to welding it. So it's not like I would save like a day, even if it would work. I
I
was not
suppose
sure.
if you were to do it again, then the new SDFs that's coming in may offer an alternative.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, until I see it working. And not, let's hope it's stable. Let's call it that way.
You would also still have the topology issue because SDFs are only exist in screen space. So if you still have to topologize it to make it 3D printable, and
Yep.
the mesh might have been garbage because they're never meant to be
Yeah,
polygons. That's
It's a different world. Rendering only
Yeah.
and 3D printing. It's completely.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah. We use
completely,
the same software, but it's a different world. You need to follow the rules. Yeah,
yeah.
Well,
it's
it's
a different.
phenomenal work,
Yeah.
regardless of what you've managed to do with polys. I salute you too, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, this
thanks.
is super impressive stuff.
It's very impressive,
Yeah.
as usual.
Yeah,
Do you know what?
it was
It's like
also
it's
fun
like one of
project.
those. It's like one of those competitions where you get this one guy always winning because they're just that
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That's Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
but
Bill,
when it's fun, it's easier. Like when you like the project,
Yeah.
yes.
it's better also because I played this game like million of times because I started on Commodore also, and then my
You're like,
friend.
that's not how a lemming looks. It looks this way.
Yeah.
A small character with a.
Pink and I played the game with the pink and green small guys.
Yeah.
But I also started on before Commodore 64. I had some local computers in 80s, but then 85, 6, I got 64 Commodore, and then my friend in 89 or something got Amiga 500, and then I was more at his home than at my home. So then in 90s it was time to get my own Amiga, so I got 1200 as my first Amiga. Then when I got Blizzard card, I could use LightWave, but that was like LightWave 3.5, the first one detached from video toaster basically. Before that, it
Yeah.
was too expensive to go with the video toaster.
And it was kind of hard to use it in Europe anyways because we didn't have a video toaster. There was this company actually that made the dongle
Yeah.
before, some form of a hack, something.
Yeah, I think Ben was involved slightly, wasn't he?
Yes, Ben Vost. Yes.
Yes. Who I
Uh,
met a couple of weeks ago.
cool. But Bill, a question now: how many of these did you print? How many awards were there? I can't remember.
Yeah, I was going to jump in and
There's
talk about that. That
plenty
is the
of them
picture
here.
of all the
Yeah.
files with the big guy. We used the big one to advertise the event.
Mhm.
We did it at night at the History Museum in the Hahn Auditorium. We really didn't know what we were going to get audience wise. It was probably half full, 350 seats, so probably 250 people were there. I'm totally guessing. I didn't count. My memory says 250 people. And then and Amiga Bill was there. If you guys know Amiga Bill from his Twitch stream,
Amiga
Yes.
Bill, the more
what's that?
Amiga Bill, the more you watch, the more you will.
He and I had only met in person like that morning, or that day, and we did our presentation. And I should also give a shout out to Life's Cool, Daniel, who put together 90% of the video. So one of the things that was super important to me is if you watch like the Emmys or the Oscars, when you have a product, you have a demo video or you play the sound, you run a clip from the movie or whatever. So for every single nominee that made it to the final round, we produced a 25-second video of that product.
Oh, yeah.
The Villagetronic Picasso card. The Picasso card was a little tough because that was a lot of just still imagery. But the video game stuff is amazing. And the Lemming. As we were planning the event and planning the execution, it's kind of like rendering versus modeling. I need to render the event. I don't need to model it. I don't need to care if it prints. I just need to get it done. It just needs to look good. And so people were asking me a couple days before the event, like, what are we going to do with these trophies? I'm like, I don't know. Like, we're making these trophies. We're going to have them up there, and then we're going to figure it out. And I think we had probably 8 or 9 of the categories for the pictures you're seeing there. Those people were in the room. I was telling Dan, like, I don't know what I'm in email. I don't know what I'm going to do with these things. He's like, well, and Dan knew the winners ahead of time, and Sensible Soccer was one of the winners. He's like, you should contact John Hare. Maybe he'll come to receive the award. So I'm in Amsterdam on a business trip. It's like Friday, the week before, and I email John Hare because Dan knows him and gave me his email. Like, Mr. Hare, like, we're doing this thing. Or Dan sent the original email, like, you're going to get an award. Do you want to come to California to receive your award? He's like, yes. He bought his ticket on like Monday for the event, which was Friday. And he flew in. This is John Hare, Sensible Soccer.
Yeah.
And what was their outfit? Cannon Fodder and all those games, Sensible Software. He flew in to receive his Ammi. And I wasn't at the event most of the day because I had a pre-scheduled kid event. So I meet John Hare on stage to hand him his model here, and like, thank you for coming to California from England with no notice to get this thing. So we ended up tracking down most of the people that won. I think there's still a couple outstanding. I think we gave the Scala one to Peter Chernia, who was at Scala for a long time. You saw Tim was there with Kiki and a bunch of other people from New Tech to receive theirs. I think we gave one to Dale Luck, who was in the room. So we ended up giving out those trophies to a lot of folks who earned them, 40 years ago or within the last 40 years, that time frame. And that was one of the things that I took away that I loved about it was, with the team working on it and other people kind of solving that problem, that we were able to distribute these awards to the people that actually had won them. And that was great.
Oh, that's super cool.
Well, I can say that any that you have left over right now, if you need somebody to look after them for you, I humbly offer my services to you.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Maybe show up at the VCF this year. There might be some floating around. We'll see.
So it's not like a Oprah Winfrey show. Whoever sits in the audience gets the car or whatever. You get one.
I will say my 6-year-old has 3 or 4 of them in his room because he loves them as little toys. So he was collecting them, various prototypes.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you saw, Louis, when you saw your work presented on stage and being given away as awards, how did that make you feel when you saw your work?
Proud, as usual. What's the other feeling you can get? I mean, because although I did not watch the live, but Cageman sent me the link after the Bill made the edit, basically, and then on YouTube. So I was watching it there later. It was nice to see my award.
Yeah.
I did that.
Yeah, I did several 3D prints before also, but this one was like completely different because it's like from something you did like know from way before. It's not just like build me this and that's it. You just build it and forget it. This one was like
considering that you had the Amiga and the Amiga connection as part of your history, you definitely must have made it very, very personal.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's why I wanted this to happen. When I saw, because here's the thing, Bill first sent me the stuff. He sent me the AI images and then also the messy mesh maybe. Anyways, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know how to do this, but I know a guy, and that's how it started. And you said that also in the when you did the presentation in video, in the live video, so to speak, where you said, "Hey, I just want to interject this little story about how this happened," and you talked about Lightwave Digest, and then you contacted me, and it's kind of fun. And then the other Bill said, "The Amiga community what I can't remember exactly what he did, but he said the Amiga community solves the problem or something like that, in those lines, right? It's super cool. It's super fun.
The event was August 1st. I sent you the note. I scrolled back in Discord here. July 12th. So about 15 days, about 16 days before the event, I sent you the note saying, "Hey, I was listening to your podcast."
Wow.
I've heard that you're the guy who makes miracles happen.
Yep.
And then I mean, and also Lewis, I think you said to me that this was you had so much fun doing this, even though it was tedious. You felt
Yep.
like
It was fun to do because it's completely different than the stuff I usually do. I mean, do a lot of different stuff: product design, cars, buildings, architecture, whatever. But this was like something completely. I don't really do characters a lot. I do them sometimes, but not really. I don't really enjoy animating characters. But this was like a completely different story, and it was fun. Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
must
And
admit
challenging.
the idea of having this non-Sony IP character animated.
Original artwork.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be amazing to see it animated. I must admit.
Oh, it'd be hard
Yeah.
to animate it because it's kind of baked in, but maybe.
Yeah, it has to be remodeled in a T pose or a bind pose, or well,
You
you have
might
the
be able to
difference.
make it jiggle a little bit, like
Yeah, but that's
then
but
not
that's
fully
why you
animated.
have incremental save. So I have a version.
Maybe.
I can detach it from the base. We can do all kind of stuff. It's just like, and since it's subdivision, it's not too heavy.
No, exactly. And by the
So,
way, we should mention also, Lewis saved out a version of this that I can actually load into LightWave 5 in modular
yep.
on my
And
Amiga
on
X5000.
Amiga version for
Wow.
Amiga, basically.
Yeah. And the
Because-
only reason why we could do it was because it was in sub D, because there's a limitation in how many polygons you can have in modular when it comes to
64K, I think it was the limit,
Mm.
64K or something like that polygons.
Yeah.
Something about that, yeah.
Per model or layer, whatever was back then.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say thank you very much, Cageman, for sponsoring this and making this a reality.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, man. It was my pleasure, actually.
It's affected me deeply. Thank you.
It's a lot
No
of
worries.
fun as well, isn't it? It's an homage to the era, and everybody immediately gets it who was around at that time. It doesn't need any explanation, and it's just a fun little dude, isn't it? It's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And the whole event in the first place, AmiWest is just really amazing that this thing has been going on for as long as it has been. And
Well,
also,
I want to be clear. This is the Amiga 40th. So AmiWest is Sacramento Computer Club, Amiga Computer Club's event. This was we have our own little thing for the. There's a lot of mixture in there, but I want to give AmiWest its due as a separate thing. So,
but even still, I mean, it's 2025, 2026, and the Amiga is no longer around with us, but AmiWest still is. So, that says a lot. But I do have one more question to Bill, because there is a new Retrogames are releasing the A1200 computer. What's your thoughts on them doing that?
Doing what part on the A1200?
The A1200 that's being released by Retrogames.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good question, and I'm very opinionated about these topics. I think of the world in like monthly Amiga hours. I know it's very strange, but in my mind, you can break it down to how many hours in a given month is someone using an Amiga computer, and kind of like a motivating theme for a lot of what I do is to increase the number of monthly Amiga hours that occur on the planet Earth. So if you come to an AmiWest show, you'll see a huge variety of things. You'll see classic systems, out of the packaging classic. You'll see a crazy 1200s and machines modified. You'll see the A500, which is the current iteration of their technology. You'll see the 600 GS and the 1200 NG from Amiga Kit. And I love what Retrogames is doing. And I was actually talking to Trevor Dickinson about this recently, that they have a product that is tailored for a particular market segment. It is a retro game machine, much like you'd find the Nintendos, the remade classic Nintendos, the 64s. You turn it on, it gives you a UI front end, and it's predominantly for running games. And then more importantly, they've done all the hard work to get the IP so that the games are running are licensed and everything's completely legit. Because in the Amiga community, you can go find things where they have like 15,000 games embedded in it that you can download for 32 gigs, and you click the button and it's there and it's amazing and it works. But that's not a commercially viable product. And so I love seeing things like the A1200 coming, because it's an opportunity for people who, maybe they don't want to get a classic machine and all the fiddly parts with that. Maybe they don't want to get a modern system like an OS4 box because, they're $1,500 for the cheapest one. Here's a machine that's going to be $300 US, $400 US tops. I don't know where it's going to come in at. Not that expensive, less than an iPad, full keyboard, put it under your arm and relive that experience. And I think we're going to see more of this. We're going to see more of those types of devices, and that marketplace is going to proliferate. It's really it's fantastic.
So you're very much pro it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I think we shouldn't be here. This should not be happening. Like, we shouldn't have these conversations.
That is truth.
It's really interesting that of all the retro platforms, and I do look around at the other things from that era, the Acorns, the Macs, it's a pretty thin list, the TI-99s, and there are modders, there are people doing things. But I know that the folks that love the classic Macs are super jealous that we can now put a Raspberry Pi in our machines and accelerate them doing a CPU emulation. Like, what the heck?
Yeah.
It's like a modern. Essentially, Raspberry Pis have sort of like reinvented like the accelerator boards for the at least the Amiga 1200 and the Amiga 500, where you can actually now have a Raspberry Pi that has HDMI out. You can have a full HD display. It's like a graphics card, and that small little thing there, right?
This is, I believe, a mini mig. It's Chris Collins. I need to fix it up, but you've got the mini mig, but then you've got this monster. And I put this together for the 40th. It's not currently, I haven't powered it on in a little while. But this is an Amiga 4000. This is an Amiga 4000, and it's got the Z 3660. Is that right? That accelerator device. So it's hard to tell, but there's like a hat sitting right here on that card. So it's got an 060, but it also has this bad boy, which is the equivalent of 100 megahertz 68040. So this thing for an Amiga, it absolutely screams.
It's not like a vampire, is it?
No. It's a whole other card. It's a Z3660. It's developed by the same guy that did the video card, the ZZ9000.
Oh yeah, that one. Yes.
But it's not even expensive. It's like $180, and you can put this thing on your big box Amiga 3000s, 4000 tower versions, and it's just phenomenal. The thing is wildly fast. I don't know how many they made or sold, maybe a couple dozen, a couple hundred, but the energy and the work that's going on. He's in Spain, and and he's the engineering it takes to make that sucker work, get the timing right, keep it stable, and then push it forward, like accelerate the IO and add USB off the hat, and all these things that are happening, and the work that Michael's doing with the Pi Storm. It's just mind-boggling, and nothing else is happening like that in even in the console world. Nobody's doing anything like this in any of that kind of retro world. It's very strange.
I think
And I love
I think that's probably why the retro scene for Commodore machines, at least anyway, is so vibrant, because you just can't do these sort of things on PCs or PC laptops or anything like that. You buy it, you use it, you throw it away and replace it. Whereas with the Amiga and the other Commodore machines, you can just really expand on it to this day. It's just so open. It's just mind blowing how
Yeah,
the
there
longevity
is a
is going.
there is a reason why NASA actually bought Amiga computers instead of Macintosh, and that was because Apple didn't want to send them any documentation at all. But there is actually a really good documentary about this from 1998, where Amiga Atlanta Group, they actually get a tour inside one of the hangars where they actually do, because they got like a high pile of everything when it comes to documentation about the hardware, timings, everything, so they could build their own custom hardware that they could fit into the Zorro 2 or Zorro 3 slot, and then interface with all their other machines in the whole thing, right? It was yeah, there is a reason the Amiga. I think that's why the Amiga is still such a vibrant community, because you can do so much with it, because it's an open architecture, more or less, right? In a sense, right?
Yeah,
It was very ahead of its time. I mean, I think the only thing that the maybe would have made it a bit more extra is if they'd done their own CPU designs, I guess, but that was probably well ahead of the ability to do that back then.
well, they did. They just didn't do the central processor, but they did.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But all of the custom chips, obviously, were like that was. I mean, I would love to see a modern day where someone actually starts engineering like a modern version of that, not just. I mean, you can do with like a little ASIC or a little recode a chip, but to actually
FPGA
build
type thing.
real, FPGA chip, you can build a simulation, but it's not as good as actually actual silicon, and I think that's probably a little bit, but it's starting to get possible these days.
I mean, look at the new Apples with the M chips.
It's not just Apple too. I mean, I was just at NVIDIA's show, and that was quite incredible to see what they had done as well, and their Vera processors. But going back to it, the Vampire, which was mentioned earlier, is a 68080 processor. The Vampire guys have taken the 68000 architecture and extended the chipset, extended the instruction set. It is that is actually happening. What you described, people are building newer versions of CPUs.
Yeah, I do have the Vampire 4 standalone, and it actually comes with it's called SAGA, which stands for Super AGA, which actually is an enhanced version of the AGA chipset with more accelerations and instruction sets and what is called. I'm not a coder, so I don't know what I'm talking about right now. But essentially extending the functionality of the original AGA chip. Which is kind of cool.
like the AAA chip was going to be, but never quite got finished. You probably know more about that than me, Bill.
Yeah, there's a lot to the Ombre and what they were doing there. I'm gonna flip my video using this to my X5000. I think you guys will appreciate this. So that is LightWave 5, loading the Lemming model, running on AmigaOS 4. This is the LightWave. I haven't used the modeler in so long. I forget how to turn on the polygon view. If anyone remembers real quick how to do that. But we were talking about it earlier. I thought it'd be fun to show that we have a version of this sucker that loads into LightWave 5.
You can see it only on the right, top right view, and try to hit A for fit all or something like
Yeah, there you go. Good memory.
No, it works the same today. That's the funny part.
that. There's a Shift A and A, basically. To
But
zoom.
there should be like a perspective view on the top right, where you can
Yeah.
actually see.
I think this is before OpenGL. That's the thing. So you might
It
get a
is.
wireframe version. So this is what you forget. You forget, like, oh yeah, they didn't have OpenGL,
Well, you gotta press the
which is like
polygon
the
button.
most basic possible thing.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's on the display somewhere.
Modify. There's options. Preview.
So
Oh,
you
here
want
we go.
preview type. You want to set that to
Solid.
no,
So-
not solid. It's going to crash. Static wire, I think.
Okay, I'll give that a try. Okay.
Hey.
Okay, try. Okay, it's actually working. I tried this on my X5000, and when I tried to do solid, it actually crashed or something. But let's see what happens.
It's busy.
Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
busy.
We have. I think the LightWave 5 source code was released, right, as part of the toaster package. Maybe run that through some AI. Maybe I'll update that sucker to OS4.
The funny thing is, I had a call with Deuce Bennett, who is the what do you call it? He's part of the new LightWave team, LightWave Digital, and he had actually got a email from the guys that made the SAM boards. What are
AQ.
they called now?
AQ.
AQ. Yes, they asked Deuce if they could get hold of the LightWave source code for the Amiga, because they had a programmer that wanted to modernize it so that for the next generation Amiga, so to speak, the X5000s and those.
Amazing.
And Deuce was like, Amiga, I don't have this, because it was so long ago. So, yeah.
Something to think about.
To be fair to Deuce, he joined them much after this era, although I'm not. I think he
Oh, yeah,
probably
true.
was involved, but this is a little bit before his time.
Yeah, true.
And he's been there a very long time.
But there was I told him to send this, because Walkero is a developer, Amiga developer, and they made a really good tutorial on how to actually run LightWave 5 on a modern Amiga, and actually have all the screens working as well, like when you hit F9 and stuff like that, because those were a little bit iffy. So I told Jews, hey, tell them that you don't have the source code, and also send them this link so they know that you can actually run it properly with the help of that tutorial. So
Awesome.
I want to thank both Bill for taking your time and telling the LightWave community about the Amiga community, and again, I want to say that without the Amiga computer, we would probably not have LightWave. So we should all remember that. And also thank you so much to Louis for showing how he did this amazing work in such a short time. And it was really, really fun to be part of helping this come true, and also seeing the presentation from Bill on stage there and handing out the trophies, and it was so fun to see that. I got very emotional actually when I saw that. It was super cool.
Thank you, man.
So thank you guys so much.
And I'd just like to
Sorry?
say that I'd just like to say to Bill that I am in no way at all jealous of you for meeting Kiki Stockhammer at all. And I wish you good gravy.
Thank you.
You're both welcome back anytime. If you want to come and tell us about the Amiga, because we are all big Amiga heads. Even though it's like, oh yeah, I remember those names. Oh my god, it's all coming back.
Just a little plug. If you go to YouTube, type in Amiga 40th, 040th. We've got the bunch of videos up there. There's the evening event video that Tim sponsored, and we got professionally filmed and edited. You can see the work where Tim Jennison and Kiki, along with Jeff Brulette, recreated the Andy Warhol scene, where Kiki Stockhammer was standing in for Debbie Harry. That was a pretty magical moment that night. So
yes,
definitely I think we did a pretty good job. Didn't get everything we wanted. We had some technical problems, but overall, I'm quite proud of what we pulled off on that event. And
Yeah.
if anybody is interested, go to YouTube. You can find all sorts of material.
Thank you so much, guys.
Everyone,
Just like
appreciate
the
it.
real new tech as well, you know, making technical errors during the middle of the talk, so it's perfect.